Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. Welcome back, and today we're going to be going through all the newest makeup announcements and releases that have been announced in the last week or so. And as always, you will be seeing the images of the products that we are talking about here, and I will be linking the accounts that I got the information from in the description box. So if you're on Instagram, for example, go give them a follow. And today, or not today, but this week, we're going to be having a bit of a double makeup news video. So on around Wednesday, hopefully I'll be able to upload this. This is going to be the normal makeup news video. However, on Sunday we're going to be having this sort of advent calendar special. I did this similar video last year, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do it next year. And since this year, and since most of the advent calendars have actually been announced, and I believe some have already been like sold out, which is like again a bit ridiculous considering that we got them so early this year. But this just shows how popular these kind of products are. So that's why I thought that it's probably good to do the makeup advent calendar specific video like now, because probably when we get to the November, and especially if you're looking for an advent calendar in December, I think all the good ones are gonna be gone by then, so that is why we are gonna be having that video during this week. But let's start talking about maybe the more general makeup releases next. Okay, and let's start with the sort of normal makeup releases. We are also going to be having some advent calendar specific stuff and also some holiday stuff that still I didn't cover during last week. So first one is that Urban Decay is going to be coming out with another sort of Moondust quad. So I think they did this kind of Moondust quad also during last year. And I think this is quite a popular product with them, so I think it kind of makes sense that they're doing this one. And I think this is going to be their sort of holiday-ish season release. So this is the Urban Decay, the Moondust Quad Glitter Eyeshadow Palette, and this is a limited edition palette featuring 4 Celestial-inspired shades. I am a bit unfamiliar with the sort of Moondust range that are these sort of palette specific shades, or are these sort of like existing shades, because I do believe in their last year's palette some of them might have been like existing and some of them were like exclusive. This is what I would say has more like cool tone leaning mauvish tones in it. I don't need a separate shimmer palette because I do have my fair share of indie palettes and indie shimmers, but I do believe that if you're looking for this sort of special sparkles at a more sort of like established brand with who is sold at more established retailers, this could be a good option. And I can like see that there is probably a market for this one, since they did make another one based on the release they had last year. I was craving for some fall exclusive releases, and I think at least P.Louise seems to have heard that I was kind of wishing, though I think I am going to be skipping this one because I just actually did, talking about advent calendars, I actually did order the advent calendar that I wanted to have for this year. I just ordered it so we can say that my budget for this month is used up. So I am not going to be ordering this, but as I said in my previous video, we kind of have been like skipping the fall releases altogether, so I'm happy I'm seeing that someone's doing them. So this is going to be P.Louise's budget box, so this is a monthly subscription box, and usually P.Louise, they kind of do this, that they actually launch their new products monthly in the budget boxes, which is kind of an interesting way of launching stuff. And usually if you do like, I always say that these boxes are good value if you like all the products in the box. If there's like one or two items in the box that you're interested in, then I would just wait, because usually the products do come out individually on their website, but they are going to be more expensive to buy separately than in a box. So when you're looking into the content of this box, why I do think this is quite of a very well done fall release, is that the eyeshadow palette has these very fall specific colors. There is some orangey tone leaning stick blushes, there's some eyeliners, and I think there's a hand cream also included in this one. So I think this is one of the budget boxes, because not all of these offer, like, at least for my preferences, good value, but this one I would say that if you like all of these items, I would actually maybe order this. Even though this is called the what was this? Is this the, yeah, even though this is called the October budget box, just be aware that this won't ship until the end of October, beginning of November. So if you order this, just be aware that it's not gonna ship immediately. It's a bit funny. I really think P.Louise, they should try to maybe somehow recategorize these budget boxes, because it's always a bit strange that you're getting the budget box of the month basically during the beginning of the next month. So maybe they could just like actually like name the boxes based on the month that the boxes are gonna be shipped. But These are 30, the budget box is 30 UK, to 30 UK pounds if you have a sort of running subscription, but if you want to make a one-time purchase, which is possible, then it's going to be a bit more expensive. It's going to be 45 UK pounds. If you order this outside UK, I do think there's going to be shipping cost involved. I think within UK the shipping I think is free, but if you order this outside UK you do have to pay for the shipping. But as I said, I was kind of missing fall makeup vibes, so we did get them in the end, at least a little bit. Next is a release that I did show a part of in my last video, but I was kind of right when I thought that is this one of those like Catrice Essence collaborations. So we are actually getting Alice in Wonderland collaboration with both of these brands. It's a bit unusual because usually the like if Essence does Alice, then I would have expected Catrice would have done another like similar Disney movie. Maybe like I was thinking that what would have been a good pairing, maybe like Peter Pan would have been a sort of good like corresponding, but this time they are doing both the same movie, which is something a bit different. From these limited edition collaborations, I'm seriously eyeing this one because so far this seems like, I think this has one of the better product selection, product design for like a drugstore IP collab. I think this is actually quite well done. There is a lot of products, like there's always with these limited edition releases from them, and because both of the brands are basically doing now this Alice theme, there's quite a lot of to choose from. So there's altogether like 4 eyeshadow palettes because Essence is doing 2 and Catrice is doing 2. Then we get a plethora of lip and cheek products. There's some, I think there are some accessories also involved, but what I am happy about is that with both of the brands, majority of the products are makeup related products, because especially Essence is a bit notorious for the fact that they put quite a lot of accessories, but this time there is like majority of stuff with both of these is like makeup related. I've been trying to eye BeautyShop's website because it's usually the first place that I can order these sort of limited edition Catrice and Essence releases, so I've been eyeing the website, but so far these have not yet been available on the BeautyShop website. I do believe if you live in Germany, this might already be available on some German retailers, but usually it can take a while for the stuff to trickle into the rest of the Essence and Catrice retailers. But I will give credit, considering that these are usually not the collections that I'm attracted to. I do think this is quite well done from both Essence and Catrice. Makeup Revolution has come out with this sort of, it's all about your base, so I think this is this sort of like multi-purpose face palette, which basically has cream shades, and I think this is kind of like mimicking the, I think Makeup Forever was the brand that made these very popular, though the Makeup Revolution one, this is very like distinctively different from Makeup Forever design. There are 3 variations, which is good because then we have most of the skin tones covered. I don't need this kind of product. I do know there are like makeup artists and maybe people who do these like very, I think, very complex makeup looks. I think for them these could be good, but for me, I'm not usually a fan of these kind of format. Also, usually the cream shades that are within these palettes, they can be quite emollient cream shades, and I think for my makeup preferences, I don't necessarily, with all my complexion product, I necessarily don't want to like too emollient cream shades, but for someone I could like, I can see that there's definitely a market for this one, because obviously I think Makeup Revolution, they would not have done this if these were not popular, but for me this is not a product that I particularly need. Dede Signature is coming out with another palette. They have been coming out with quite a lot of palettes recently, but this might be actually, it could be that this necessarily isn't the brand's fault, because a lot of the indie brand owners usually talk about the fact that because they are smaller manufacturers, it can be that the manufacturing facilities kind of push them back, and then they prioritize these bigger brands who have much more bigger order volume. So it can happen that indie brands, they plan a launch, but then because of manufacturing reasons they get kind of pushed back, which means that sometimes their launches, they aren't like that well timed. But this is, I believe, from the Roots. This is called, the palette is called From the Roots palette. I do kind of like this sort of murky, earthy tones that has a bit of like, it's like earthy colorful tones is how I would categorize this one. This is not a color story that is particularly appeals to me, but because it is a bit, again, maybe mismatchy, which kind of seems to be a theme with some of their palettes. The previous palettes also, I thought that it was kind of had a cool color story, but it was also a bit mismatchy. But I do think that in terms of design, I actually do like the cover art of this one. I think it's very well done. But This is a skip for me, but I think if you live in Europe, Monolith Shop already did announce that this is gonna be, I'm a bit unsure, is this gonna make it to the October launch, which is actually gonna be next week. So if you are eyeing some new indie releases, go check on their website, because I think they have most of their stuff listed that's gonna be on the October launch. So if this is not on the October launch on Monolith Shop, then it's gonna be on the November one, but for me this is a skip. Morphe's holiday collection is already available, and I did already also see this in some of our Morphe retailers. So I kind of do like the wine red packaging. Sometimes Morphe's holiday collections, they've been a bit meh, but I actually do like the packaging of this one. They have one of their bigger eyeshadow palettes in this sort of new format. They have a brush set, then they have a mini set of their glosses, there is a set of their lip liners, and then we have a set of their sort of, I think, best sellers, because there's the setting spray, there's one lip liner, there's a full-size lip gloss, and setting powder. I was kind of eyeing the eyeshadow palette, but I did try one of these, like from the new eyeshadow palettes that they released. I actually didn't think the big ones were that good. They were like okay for drugstore. I would have rather wanted to see one of the like 6 pans or two 6 pans in this sort of collection, because that could have been something that I would have been interested in. But so far for me this collection was a skip, but I do think from a sort of Morphe's standpoint, what we have seen from their holiday collection, I do actually think in terms of design this is a better one. More indie releases. So this is called the Botanical palette, and this is by Dieverune Cosmetics. Monolith Shop said that this is not gonna make it to the October launch, so if you shop within Europe, wait for the November one. I think they said that this is gonna be on their website then. So this is called the Bizarre Botanicals palette. This is going to be launching on Dieverune's own website on 12th of October, so I think by the time this video actually goes live, this had already been launched. So if you want to shop this directly from them, this is going to be already available. This did kind of remind me of there was another indie brand that did this kind of pink and green palette, and it was quite a big one. I'm completely blanking about the name right now. No, but it's one of the more expensive ones. I'm gonna pop in the name of the brand to the screen, because I'm not can't remember it right now. But this did remind me quite a lot about the Bella Beauty Bar, now I remembered. So yeah, this reminds me because Bella Beauty Bar did launch a similar palette, though I think Bella Beauty's Bar palette was much more pink and green focused. This does actually have also other pops of colors than pink and green, but it kind of did remind me of that one. But if you are into this kind of color story, then maybe look into this, because I do believe this brand has gotten quite a decent reviews. Lisa Eldridge has launched their holiday collection. There seems to be a lot of sets. I am kind of liking the packaging design. It's a bit different from what we usually see from holiday collection. Still, Lisa Eldridge is one of those luxury brands that I haven't yet gotten the desire to order anything from, even though they are apparently very high quality, or her brand is quite high quality. I'm a bit unsure, is there like limited edition stuff, or are all of these like from her staple line? I do think some of the lip glosses are looking quite interesting in this one. Maybe look into their website, and if you are a Lisa Eldridge collector, that are these like holiday exclusive, or are these actually things that already exist, so you're not buying doubles. But I do think for a luxury makeup lover, some of these could make a very thoughtful and nice gifts, and as I said, I am liking kind of the design that they went with this one. Then something that I posted about, so BeautyBay is continuing with their sort of anniversary releases, and this was same time, how should I say, this was very nostalgic and kind of fun, but then when I looked at it, I was thinking that I'm not gonna order that, because even though it's priced pretty decently, that's just too bulky. So BeautyBay came out with a sort of palette, I think what could be called, what this is still technically called, and this has 3 of their OG palettes, and then there is the like there's a layer of face products. I'm gonna be honest, like maybe if they would have only had the eyeshadows, then I could have actually gone and maybe ordered this one, but what basically dropped this for me is when I saw the drawer of the face products, and I was thinking that's gonna be too bulky, I can't be storing that anywhere. The palettes that are included in this one, I think, were the I think they are all 3 of their like older holiday palettes. There's the book, was it called the Book of Magic? I think that was one of them called. Then there was the one that was 20s inspired, and then there was one that was had this sort of like very cool toned bluish and grayish like duochrome shades. Yeah, this was very nostalgic, but honestly, the price of this was pretty decent. It was only 62 euros, and considering the amount of eyeshadow and face shades, like this could be a good gift for a teenager getting into makeup. Like if I would be having a teen and she was like that, I really want to try like makeup and I want to try like all the shades under, well, it's pretty blue heavy, which kind of shows that a lot of these holiday palettes were quite blue heavy at the time, but for a teenager looking to try these colors, I would say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy that, and the teen is gonna be happy because there's so much to do and it's still not that expensive, and BeautyBay is still good quality. I'd be interested, I think they are probably that this has a like their current formulation with their eyeshadow, because some of these are very old releases, so I'm kind of thinking that it's not just possible for them to anymore probably manufacture with the same formulas that they manufactured when some of these palettes were launched. So I'm assuming that it has a bit more upgraded formula, but yeah, this was very nostalgic, but I did like it says skip. Like if the face stuff would not have been in this one, then I might have been tempted to actually get this one because it has the face layer. I was like that. No, we are not doing that one. More holidays. So Natasha Denona's 2012 holiday collection, and I think this is also going to be available by the time this video goes up. So Natasha Denona has a bit of a strange thing that she does these like holiday specific like mini launches, and then we usually get a midi palette. However, now I'm now thinking that the midi palette has usually launched by that, like usually it either launches before the holiday stuff or just like after the holiday stuff, and we just got two of the like the what were those Ice Cult big palettes that were quite expensive. So I'm kind of thinking that are we still gonna get a sort of like traditional midi palette maybe during the November time, because I'm just a bit curious that what kind of release schedule we're running this during this holiday. I actually haven't always been a fan of these like holiday stuff, like holiday things, because these are usually minis and there's usually she recycles shades in this one, and I think she is still recycling shades in this one, but I actually am kind of eyeing. There's the My Dream pouch, which has the My Dream, there's a cheek duo, there's a trio, and if you have the original My Dream eyeshadow midi palette, I think they are existing shades, so don't go buy doubles into your collection. And then there is the lipstick and lip liner, and the lipstick is the same that was in the My Dream collection. However, I think this has like shimmer, it's a metallic finish, because the original lipstick was like a satin cream finish, which is the like formula she has in her basic line lipsticks. Then there's also the Essential Eye Duo. The Essential Eye Duo, that's pricey. I checked the euro price on her website, it's over 37 euros for an eye duo, and even though the pan size in this eyeshadow duo is quite big, I was thinking that I am not going to be spending 37 like euros for two Natasha Denona shades. Like I would then get one of the like 5-pan mini palettes, and I think you get more shades and more versatility, even though you're not maybe getting as much product per pan than you are in the eyeshadow duo. But yeah, and then there's also an ornament from the My Dream. I think this was the like blush lighter, which is a existing product in her collection. Yeah, I would have to say the My Dream pouch, that is something that's tempting me. Usually I'm not into this, but there's something about the products in that one that is quite appealing. And I no longer have the My Dream palette. I used to have it in my collection, but I did declutter it because while I did actually use the palette a decent amount, it still wasn't my favorite from her line, but I think the shades that are chosen to the eyeshadow trio are actually kind of fun. I think with these like Natasha Denona, these like her holiday stuff, you kind of have to look into them and see that are they, because some of them, as I said, I think the eyeshadow duo is priced ridiculously, especially in euro prices. I think that's not worth it, but maybe for example with the My Dream pouch, that if you are really someone who's gonna use all the items in the pouch, then that might be worth the price. I think I checked on euros on her website, it's like somewhere around 100 euros, which is still very expensive, but I think there might be, you might get more use out of that products in that particular pouch, like comparing to the eyeshadow duo. Then something known holiday, so MAC is collaborating with Minnie and Daisy, so this is a Disney collaboration. I think this is kind of fun. I am not like, I'm not someone who buys from MAC. I think their products are kind of like meh, and considering that it's not an expensive brand, but also not a cheap brand, so they're kind of all in between in terms of like the makeup products that I usually look into. There seems to be like 3 lipsticks, and then there are 3 lip glosses, and I do think it's nice that they actually have the collaboration, like the collab topic is in the packaging, because we have seen from brands where they, for example, only put the collab specific like packaging to the cardboard packaging, which basically most people throw away, and then you don't have anything special in the actual product. But with this one, I am liking that they went very like all out with the product design. This is kind of fun. I think they actually chose quite of fun shades in this one, so it kind of goes with the sort of Disney-esque vibe that we are having in this one. But for me, this is a skip, because it's just not a IP collab that I am generally interested in. MAC is a brand that I'm generally not into. GlamShop's Advent calendar has been announced, so this is a Polish indie brand, and I do think from indie calendars this is actually one of the more better ones. This is priced at 143 euros and 52 cents, so it's actually like, considering that you are getting full-size products in this one, I think it's a pretty decent price. The only thing that why I wasn't so excited about this one is that there isn't very many Advent calendar specific items in this one. I think the sort of brush set that you're getting into this one, and then there is a highlighter palette that you are seeing actually only the outer packaging in this particular photo. Those kind of go with the sort of calendar's outer theme, which is this like candy rainbow themes. But then the rest of the products seem to be more of their staple line products, which I don't mind I don't mind it in one way, but then maybe I would have wished we might have gotten a couple of more like Advent exclusive items. But if you don't have a huge GlamShop collection and you are looking to try a variety of items from them, this is actually what I would say one of the better ones. And especially if you're shopping from a Advent calendar within Europe, I think this is going to be easy to get. You're also getting some skincare in this. This is a trend. We are seeing a lot of makeup brands doing skincare, so you are getting also some other things than just makeup. Then this is the second last product. So Glamlite has announced a new sort of collection, and this I think is centered around coffee, at least based on the images that I'm seeing. So they are basically doing lip kits. This is not a new category of products from them. Glamlite does a lot of these lip kits. I'm a bit curious how these are going to be coming to the sort of European retailers. So you can get Glamlite if you shop within Europe, at least from Monolith's website and also Bougie Shops, and Bougie Shop seems to get the Glamlite collections the fastest, which is something that I have noticed. There are some nice like nudish shades, and because Glamlite from indie brands it's not the most expensive ones, then maybe this could be something that I could throw into my cart with some other products. But this is not, again, a product, like I have plenty of lip products, so this is not a product category that I'm gonna make an order alone. But if you have been waiting for some coffee themed lip products from Glamlite, then look into this one. I know a lot of people have been asking Glamlite to do like staple line products because they've been doing a lot of like IP launches, so I think this is also something that people have been asking from them, that could we just have like normal products. And Glamlite did actually become known for actually doing food themed things, so this actually fits with their brand quite well. Last one, so Troublemaker Beauty, which is a new-esque drugstore brand which was founded by Adam Mento. He used to be with Makeup Revolution. I actually read from somewhere that he's now like back doing some consulting with Makeup Revolution, because believe it or not, Makeup Revolution is not doing so hot financially. But I'm just thinking, because it was kind of partially, I think, Adam's kind of fault that things didn't go as well with them, with their sort of like, they had some bookkeeping issues in terms of like finances, so I'm kind of thinking that I wouldn't have maybe expected that he's now doing consulting to Makeup Revolution again, and he's still running his own brand, so it's pretty confusing. Jen Loves has great video coverage over the whole Makeup Revolution like financial saga, so I would advise watching her content. But so Troublemaker Beauty is launching an advent calendar. This is going to be 50 UK pounds. It's going to be very affordable. I think these are not advent calendar exclusive products, but this is, since it's such a new brand, I'm not surprised that they haven't probably been able to design like advent exclusive stuff. But there is like quite a lot of things, and I am thinking that most of these are actually full-size products, and there's like 2 eyeshadow palettes, and we have then there's lip products, there's cheek products, there's like I think there might be also some like base products also included in this one. So I can't like talk about the quality of this particular brand because for me this is a bit too teenage-esque in terms of the aesthetics that we have it going on here, but I think for a sort of someone like for a teenager as a first like advent calendar, if they want a makeup advent calendar, this could be something to look into. I did watch a couple of reviews from this brand. It seems the product quality is at least decent. Like I don't think I've saw anyone saying that this is absolutely horrible, but there seems to be quite a lot of variety depending on the product, that some of them are good and some of them are like just like average. But yeah, for a teenager makeup advent calendar, I think this would be quite a nice option. Those were the makeup releases I had for this week. Comment down below what were your sort of top picks. I would say surprisingly my top pick might have been the Natasha Denona holiday launch. This is not something we see every year. I am kind of like thinking that the My Dream pouch, like that could be a nice... my birthday is coming up in November, so that could be a good way to spoil myself, even though I do think it's a bit like pricey, but as I said, I think from the holiday items that Natasha Denona launched, that was I think the best one. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope I can see you in another video. Bye bye!